My crash bar is twisted like a pretzel. The issue being that I've never welded before in my life and I don't really know what I'm doing. We gotta figure out how this thing even works. Is there a car that you've wanted so bad that you were willing to do almost anything to get it? Now that car, for me personally, has been a Corvette Z06. I always wanted one and I was willing to basically do anything it took to get one. But there was an issue. I can't afford one. So what did I do? Turns out you can buy cars wrecked and they're a lot cheaper. Now, did I have a plan? No. Did I do any research? Again, no. But did I make an impulse purchase that I might possibly regret? Yes. Now in the previous videos, I picked it up, I brought it home, I fixed the suspension, and I tore it completely apart. I took off every single broken part, which was basically everything, and I found out that there was some hidden damage. Broken, breaking, broken. What is going on here? Now the biggest surprise out of all of it was that my crash bar is twisted like a pretzel, and that crash bar is welded directly to the frame, which was also slightly bent. The issue being that I've never welded before in my life, I've never touched a welder before in my life, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So instead of paying a professional to fix it like a normal person, instead I'm going to fix it myself at the slight cost of my camera, my sanity, what is going on here, a welder, and a lot of time. So let's go buy a welder. So now that I have a welder, here's what we gotta do. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 1 is buy tools. Step 2, we gotta learn how to use them. In step 3, we gotta execute the repair. Is that how you spell execute? Which one will I choose? Yep.
165.08.
I should have everything I need to fix the frame. Now in here, I have something very special. Hold on. Oh yeah. I got the most American welding mask I could find. I think I'm now certified to work on this Corvette. I also got some welding blankets, some gloves, and little bits and bobs. Awesome. Now that we bought our tools, now it's time to learn. Well, we gotta figure out how this thing even works, because if we don't know how it works, we don't know how to use it. So this is one of the cheapest welders you can buy. I actually bought this for $100. It is a TIG welder. It is a TIG. It is a TIG welder.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
What is flux core? If we look inside of here, inside there is a spool of wire, and inside of the wire there is flux, which is basically an adhesive promoter that makes the metal stick to the other metal better. This wire is fed through a line, and at the end of the line there is a gun. As you can see, there is the wire right there. So I'm going to use the tie rod that we cut off of the Corvette as an example. If I press this trigger, the metal rod comes out, but nothing's happening. Why is that? And that's because there's another connection that I haven't talked about yet, the ground. Without the ground, your welder is never going to work. So if I put my ground on there, put my mask on, there you go. Now another key detail is the temperature, because temperature matters a lot. Why does temperature matter? That is why temperature matters. Now learning how it works is one thing, but more importantly, you gotta learn how to use it correctly, which takes a lot of experience. So let's get learning. I think we're locked in. Don't judge too much. Man. There you go. And I burnt 2 holes, nice.
Many minutes later.
Well, looks good. Penetration was actually pretty even. Of course, it's not perfect. This weld right here.
Oh! Ew! Dude!
Okay, I don't know if I consider that completely learned. So we're going to have to revisit this topic, but I think it's time that we start getting ready to execute that repair. Got a package. You guessed it. Paper. Nice. Let's see. That looks pretty close. When I say pretty close, I mean identical. Gotta grind off these welds on both of them. And then I gotta weld this on with little to no experience. There's no way that could possibly go wrong. I guess now we gotta figure out how to get this thing off. I just closed the door because I'm making so much noise and I'm sure my neighbors don't like it. Does that make it a little bit more crowded in here? Yes. Yes. No way. Oh, the airbox is connected. Why am I replacing this? Now we just smack this thing on there. No issue. Bam, fixed. Can you tell which one is new and which one's old? If anyone wants a slightly used crash bar for a 2004 Corvette, hit me up. It's slightly used with 28,000 miles. But unfortunately, it's getting late and grinding's really loud. So I'm going to grind this all down tomorrow. And we're back to the grind. The crash bar is prepped. No thanks to me. I cut it like for maybe 30 seconds. The rest of it was my dad, so thank you, Dad. That means now that we should start practicing our welding. I don't know if I consider that completely learned, so we're going to have to revisit this topic because soon that needs to go on there, and I really don't want it to fall off. I tried a lot of different temperatures, and this is the temperature that I ended up going with. I got really good penetration all the way through. It's fairly even. If I had that all on my crash bar, I'd be happy. Okay, I would consider that completely learned. Now time for the scariest part, actually doing it. So now I just have to prep it, make sure the frame is straight, and see how good of a job I'll actually do. This thing's completely cooked, but I need to hammer this thing flat. Well, here's the final result of my welding. And I welded it on the bottom and grinded it down. So now it should be really strong. Finally got my weldable primer. So now we could prime this and actually start welding. All right, let's weld this crash bar on. I think I got a little overzealous. This weld came out honestly really good. But if we look down here, that is a really big gap. And that's because I didn't bend these ears down enough. I need to grind that off again, bend the ears a little bit more, make sure everything fits perfect, and then re-weld it. This is like my first time actually welding. I'm grinding down the welds and there's little to no cavities. So once I actually weld this, I think it will be pretty strong. Nice. Well, I was not expecting to be doing this, but my camera just fell. And this is after trying to bend it back. My tripod is bent. Luckily, it looks like the camera survived. My microphone broke. So I'm going to see if I can put this back together so I can finish this video. And I don't really know what I'm doing, so, you know, hopefully it works. Well, I got my camera working again. I have to be very careful with it because it's literally held together with hopes and dreams. And there are some extra parts from my lens that I can't find a way to put back in. Currently holding the monitor for my mic because the holder broke, but it works. I just bought a new lens. It's coming in the mail, so for the time being, I'm going to use this. I'm going to be careful. Corvette 1, camera 0. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. All right, so here's how the welds are looking so far. Honestly, pretty happy with them, especially given that I'm not a professional welder. You can see that we're actually getting good penetration, so I know that this stuff is not going to come off. The crash bar is fully welded, and I think that looks perfect. Now, doesn't that look original? Completed. Let's go. It's just that easy. Maybe I could have gotten a bigger package. Well, I just spent $2,000 and this is not all of it, but most of it is here. So let's see what I got. And it should be almost everything we need to fix the fiberglass, more specifically the SMC fiberglass. There's a difference. Also, I probably should have removed these labels because I don't want you guys to know where I live. I already opened this one off screen. I got a little excited, but right here we have the tool to press the glue out of the sticks. It's actually really well built. Then we got the actual 3M panel bond adhesive, and we got some extra tips as well. Now that's not all the glue we need. I also got this composite and metal bonding adhesive. And this stuff, from what I could tell, is specially made for fiberglass. I did a lot of research, so hopefully I bought the right stuff. These two alone were $200 just for this. The last thing that we have, which is this massive box, you guessed it, a bumper. More specifically, the front bumper. I'm going to put it on the car roughly, not fully, just roughly, to kind of help it get convinced back into shape. The bottom slits are not cut out, so the bottom won't fully fit in, but we can leave it like this for a while and let it think about what it's done. So calling this stuff fiberglass is technically a lie because this is actually called SMC, Just in case you've never heard of SMC or you don't even know what SMC is, you're not alone, because before I bought this Corvette, I had no idea what SMC was either. In the most simple terms, SMC is basically an evolution of fiberglass. It is based off of fiberglass, but it is not fiberglass. Similar to how carbon fiber is like fiberglass, but this is not fiberglass either. Now, the main difference between SMC and fiberglass is how it's made. Fiberglass is laid in sheets and is injected with resin or epoxy and is filled like a sponge. That means that the backside is all bumpy because it fills in those little cavities, but on the front side it'll be smooth. Now, SMC, which stands for sheet molding compound, is like fiberglass, but they inject special chemicals like lubricant so that they can press mold it one time under heat and cure it in its shape. The upside of that is that SMC is a lot easier to replicate and it takes a lot less human touch to make a piece of SMC versus fiberglass. Another upside is that it's more rigid, so it resembles car parts a little bit more. Now, there are a couple downsides to SMC. Both of those downsides are for me because I'm repairing it. Downside number one is since it's more rigid, it is more prone to cracking, as you can see here. And that leads me to my second downside of you can't repair SMC like a normal material. Unlike metal, where you can just weld the cracks, unlike fiberglass, where you can just add more material, unlike carbon fiber, where you can add more material, unlike plastic, where you can weld more material, SMC is unique in the fact that nothing wants to stick to it because of the lubricant that they put inside of it. It is very similar to just putting glue on top of paint, where once it dries, you can just pull the glue off of the paint because there is nothing to stick to. So what does this mean? How do you fix it? We'll talk about that in a little bit. And that includes this bumper. Even though the bumper is plastic, it's not made from traditional plastics, so we got to use special tools. So a good thing I spent a lot of money on special glue. So I think, and I might be wrong, but I think my first step is to sand it all down, get down to the bare materials, and then we should drill out the cracks, fill the cracks, sand it again. I don't know. Well, wasn't that the truth? After about an hour of sanding, kind of realized that I have no idea what I'm doing and I should probably do some research. It's honestly such a simple process, and that's why it's only taken me 2 weeks to get halfway done. Turns out you're supposed to use a Dremel to remove the cracks. Once you've removed the crack with the Dremel, you now have a gap, and you need to somehow fill that gap or close the gap. Unlike fiberglass, where you can just lay sheets on top of it and cover that hole, SMC has a different process. So instead, you go ahead and take your old parts, cut out pieces of SMC, and use it as backing for your new repair. Now this introduces a new issue that I found out along the way, the hard way. Turns out the glue is not strong enough to hold it up by itself, so you need to use some kind of external force, like a screw, to hold it in place. Once everything is held in place, it's time to get out your special glue gun and to start pouring glue into the crack and hopefully overflowing as well, so it covers everything. Once it's dry, you can go ahead and take out the old screws, but now you have 2 more gaps. So you started with 1, and now you have 2. Lucky for you, the holes are not that big and you don't need backing, so you can just patch those holes with more glue. Pretty simple process that anyone can do really. On a real note, anyone could really do this, but I'm the type of guy to build furniture without instructions, and that kind of bit me in the butt on this one.
Today I'm working on a project that's quite unique. It's a stationary chair that also rocks.
After all the gluing, this rocker might not be savable. I am not sure. There is so much wrong with this rocker. The more that I cut it to cut out the cracks, the more cracks that I found. There's even cracks underneath. I guess I'll just wait until it all dries. I'll sand it down, maybe do one more coat, and we'll see if it's repairable. If not, I'll probably have to go on eBay or something and find a new rocker, but they're like $500 to $1,000 each. So, I would prefer not to. It's been a full day, and also I'm sorry if my microphone is buzzing. Ever since my camera fell, my microphone's been weird. Back to the Corvette. The glue should be dry, and honestly, it's pretty rigid so far. So I'm going to start grinding this down, see if I have any low spots, and then we're going to do a second pass. I don't know how hard it is to sand this stuff down, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. Oh, it's easy. Oh, actually, where is my mask? As I'm grinding away on those rockers and honestly just winging it, guessing as I go, I want to mention that if you're liking the video so far and you want to see more videos like this and hopefully see the car finished in the near future, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This video took over 3 weeks alone to film and edit, so a lot of work and effort goes into these videos. And as I was actually making this video, we hit over 3,000 subscribers. So thank you to all of you guys who are supporting the channel, and let's get back to the video. Okay, quick pause before I start putting more glue. I am genuinely so surprised how well this is working out, given that I've never done anything like this before in my life. I've never done bodywork and I've never worked with like fiberglass or SMC in my life. So surprised that my plan is starting to seem like I had a plan. I filled these holes. Of course, I haven't fully sanded this stuff down yet, but after fully sanding, you can see that there is the crack completely full and the backside is completely smooth. So look at this. Like, that is strong. Like, surprisingly strong. So I don't think I'm gonna have to buy a new piece, a new rocker, as long as I keep on going in the right direction. Apart from this rocker, which I've been spending most of the video on, there's a ton of other little places that I've been doing off camera. For example, this top piece actually looks pretty good, but it is a little wavy and there are some little crevices and bubbles that need to be filled. I did the tub down here and I haven't sanded it down yet, but honestly that doesn't matter much. I did the bumper, and once again the bumper is actually really strong, which is once again really surprising because I don't know what I'm doing. And finally, the side that I've been working on for like the entire day, I got the holes cut out. I got these little backing rod pieces to fill, to fill the backside. And I have all of these, and then there's another crack that I just found all the way underneath. So I got that big backing rod to do that, or backing plate. We're going to hopefully do one more pass with the glue, then it will be actual final body work of putting filler and sanding it down and making it look good. Because oh boy, it does not look good right now. Kind of looks like a mess because it is a mess, but I'm saving about $2,000, so. So I got some glue all up in these cracks, and I'm trying to overfill the cracks. And I know I'm going to have to do one more pass because of the screws that are in here, but I tried to do as much glue as possible. And I even got the crack underneath filled. So this side for now can dry, and hopefully I got most of it done. So once it dries, there won't be too much left. Now on the bumper, I glued the backside to make sure that that was good. And I also fixed one of the cracks over here. So now our bumper should be good, which was $300 saved. So that's pretty cool. I did one more coat up here as like a covering coat just for the small little pinholes. So that looks pretty good. And finally, I filled in all the little gaps here and there. So this had a big low spot, filled that in. This had a big low spot over here, filled that in. This had a big low spot in it, filled that in. This was a big crack, filled that in. There was a small crack over there, filled that in. And the whole underside is covered in glue. And I tried to build it up as much as possible, so I'm going to sand it down. Most likely I'm going to have to add a little bit more here. So I guess I'll see you guys back in a couple days, and hopefully I only have to do this one more time because I think it should be dry enough for us to do some light body work and also take out the screws and hopefully maybe even put some body filler and start making this look good because I really want to prime it already. All right, I'm sick and tired of not knowing what I'm doing. This clearly is a testament to me not knowing what I'm doing. Now, I don't give up on the project, but I give up trying to do this by myself. So we're going to take it to an expert with decades of experience who does insane work, like genuinely the best work I've ever seen when it comes to body work. We're going to get some advice from him because he knows some stuff that I clearly don't know. So I'm going to put all the body panels on, the new ones, and we're going to take this thing to his shop and he's going to tell me what to do and what not to do, or what I am doing. That did not work. That did not work at all. Burnt my thumb, plugged the holes, and I don't think they're even structural. Dude, I think my hinges might be messed up. Check this out. That's a pretty good gap. Pretty good gap. This gap isn't pretty bad. What is this? I can stick my entire pinky in that gap. So I think these hinges might be messed up, at least on this side. This gap isn't too bad, especially once I mount this fender up. This side is almost perfect. It has been a long time since this thing has been outside. So this thing is literally held together with hopes and dreams right now. But I think it'll be enough to make it to Brits. Yeah, we're going to be rocking no front bumper, by the way, because the front bumper takes way too long and I don't think anything up here is going to line up, so I don't even want to bother. I just realized as I was leaving that I did not tighten my lug nuts, so I should probably do that before I leave. All of the lug nuts are loose, look. So yeah, make sure to tighten your lug nuts before you leave. All right, now that the lug nuts are fully attached, I think we can make our trip. So many looks from people, and they're definitely thinking I'm such a stand-up citizen driving this thing right now. Got a red, silver, and yellow Corvette with no front bumper. Just normal traffic, honestly. Not rebuilt. We're here. How's it going? I got here somehow. Is this your secret project?
This is the top secret project. It's
okay.
Top secret, so I can't really tell you about the top secret.
Yeah. Finally made it here to Nitro. The people who painted my Camry, which if you guys don't know who that is, just check out the videos. It turned out perfect. But I came here to ask him for advice because clearly, if you've watched the video so far, I've spent so long on these rockers and they're still not done. I'm sure if he was doing it, it would have been done in like half a day. So what exactly do I need to do to get from here to priming and painting? Because
Well,
first of all, Mark, I thought you were bringing me a Z06, not a Harley Quinn Volkswagen. And if you guys don't know what that is, maybe Mark can like pin it up here somewhere, a picture of a Harley Quinn Volkswagen. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
My dad was making fun of me too, don't worry.
Well, I think you're doing pretty good. I think you've gotten the initial cracks reinforced with a backing, and it's one piece now. It seems pretty solid. I think you're trying to get it into more of a paintable surface from here. So what I would do is probably grab your maybe like 80 grit on a DA, and maybe even a little roll-out grinder, little grinding discs. Give yourself a little bit more of a bevel, which you kind of already do have. So maybe take 80 grit on a DA and buzz the entire area. I don't want to see any glossy paint. Buzz down, keep the DA flat, work yourself, even grab a piece of sandpaper by hand, get the spots that you can't get, a little red Scotch-Brite, get the edges. And from there, I'd probably mix up some body filler, scrape in some filler on your low areas. Instead of 3 little spots, at some point you'll kind of fill it and then kind of connect them, if that makes any sense. Equip yourself with some sanding blocks, different shapes, different sizes, between 80 and 180 grit. And start blocking and using the straight blocks to create a flat surface from here. And I would go ahead and just sand till about here, because you know when you go to prime this, you're going to probably at least primer until there. You're going to want to use a high build primer with this. So the epoxy primer is designed for bare metal, so you really don't need to use the epoxy primer. Now you can use that as a sealer before you paint, but I would use a high build sandable primer for this.
So I need to take another trip to the paint store then.
Yep, it's always a trip to the paint store.
Slightly cringing at what you're saying a little bit.
No, not at all. This is the very difficult repair. I mean, this would cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do. So you're saving yourself. You're doing it the only way it can be done. There's nothing easy about it, and that's what separates you from everybody else, man. I also heard that you might have found a build sheet from what I hear on this.
Yeah.
In the rebar, right?
Yeah, it's in the trunk. It's funny, I forgot that it's even in here. It's under in all of this junk. Actually, this stuff just flew back here while I was driving. This was not back here, so that's my bad. Anyways, it's like...
There it is. That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's proof it is a Z06.
Absolutely.
Not a Harley Quinn edition.
Honestly, I would take this and clean it off as best you can and laminate it or frame it or something.
Is it? Are they really that special?
Well, being a Z06 is pretty important.
Okay.
Because I feel like the guys that are buying these cars now, especially a Z06 model, this means everything to them, you know?
Okay.
It's like an old car, an SS or not, you know? Apparently there's more SSs out there than have ever been made. And the build sheet means everything. The VIN number means everything, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So to have this is great, and it's just cool. It's just kind of nostalgic at the same time. Corvette guys love this stuff, and window stickers.
Yeah. All right, well, time to go home now that I know what I'm doing. He's going to be building this RSX soon that he got for $2,000. I'm a little jealous.
This was like one of my dream Hondas to have. It's funny that I waited over 20 years to finally get one. I don't know why. I bought it sight unseen out of Seattle, had it towed to the shop. It was not running, so my assumption is that at worst case scenario, it needs an engine, which I do have a spare motor.
Of course you do.
We're gonna probably end up painting the whole car a different color at some point. We'll probably...
I love this color. Yeah.
But I wanna do a little bit to it to where I enjoy it. And it's been a long time since I had a car that I was enjoying, and I cannot wait to modify this thing more. So, I've lived...
All right, let's go ahead and get all those supplies that he recommended. And of course, we're not going to take the Corvette, we're gonna take the Beast. I called about the high build primer.
Oh, sure. I think it's on the, so gallon primer with hardener.
Yeah.
185.25.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. And of course, we're back to Harbor Freight and we're all started. By any chance, do you guys have DA sanders? Not orbital, but dual action? Finish sanding, that's exactly what I need.
We do actually have dual action electrical ones.
Yeah, I would love to check them out. If anything, I'll get this one, but.
too, you're on this guy, so if it ever breaks, anything happens, you can just come back and swap it out for a new one if you like.
No, that's fine. Probably going to use this thing for one project and then it's going to sit for the next 5 years.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about it.
A casual $330 later, we should have everything we need to get this bodywork done.
Let's check this bad boy out.
What are these AirPods doing? Instructions, we don't need those. Well, that wasn't satisfying. There you go. Maybe I shouldn't be trusted with tools like this. Okay, maybe I should read the instructions. Save these instructions. No, I'm good. 90 PSI is the maximum. Okay. Non-lubricated tools. Lubricated tools. Air hose. To a filter. To a regulator. To a lubricator. To a coupler. What is going on here? I need to go back to the store.